Hey everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you guys. Welcome to the mega marathon session on the Commerce and Accountancy and Costing for your IFSCA Grade A preparation. A very good evening to all of you guys. So I'll try to make this particular session more specific to the phase 1 examination of the IFSCA. Okay, so you are having Commerce and Accountancy, you are having Costing in your syllabus. We'll be covering it, at least the majority of the portion of both the subjects. Okay, more than majority, I can say close to 80-85% coverage will be definitely there in today's session. Okay, and if you guys have watched the PFRDA sessions as well, it will surely be helpful for you guys as well. Okay, very good afternoon, Satyarth, Manish. Let's quickly start the session. So this is the syllabus of your Commerce and Accountancy, guys, right? These are the broad topics that you need to cover. And I will say that what can be the strategy for your Commerce and Accountancy is keep it simple. Why? Because the very first thing is this is your phase 1 examination. In the past as well, you have seen that IFSCA is asking simple questions directly from the basic topics. So from the basic of accountancy, from accounting standard 2, accounting standard 11, accounting standard 10, even accounting standard 9, right? Cash flow statement, final accounts. These can be some of the chapters that are very important, that can be very important for your syllabus, and definitely you will be having one question from your ratio analysis side as well. You can get a theory question as well as a practical question from your ratio analysis side as well. So what should be the strategy, guys? If you are already good with these chapters, you can focus on rest of the chapters. But if you are not good with these chapter or the Commerce and Accountancy as a whole, what I'll advise you guys is to just have a quick look first at these chapters, right? If you are able to cover these chapters first, then you can move to the rest of the things, right? Just give me a second. Huh? Just give me a second. I'm just connecting my charger. Okay, perfect. Let's quickly start the session. The very first question, a very simple one from your basics of accounting. Which of the following is not a qualitative characteristic of accounting? Qualitative characteristic: conformity, understandability, timeliness, reliability, comparability. What do you think? Is not one of the qualitative characteristic of accounting. Any idea about this one? Not a qualitative characteristic of accounting. So there are so many questions in this particular session, and even if you are able to do this particular session completely, you will be getting the benefit of it in your phase 1 examination and the PFRDA related sessions as well. As so many questions directly came from costing and Commerce and Accountancy, right? Even the company law. The correct choice here is option A. Conformity is not at all a qualitative characteristic, right? There is nothing such conformity. So it's not at all a qualitative characteristic of accounting. Rest of the things like the data should be submitted timely, understandability, reliability and comparability, these all are the qualitative characteristic of accounting. Next one, in the context of accounting principle, on what basis are the financial accounts generally prepared to ensure accuracy as well as completeness? Ideally, I should prepare my accounts on what basis so that my accounting records are accurate as well as complete. Accurate as well as complete. Very good. It should be double entry bookkeeping. Now there can be a confusion कि sir यहाँ पे accrual basis. Why the accrual basis is not the answer? So you can even keep your accounting records based on the cash basis, right? Accrual basis is always preferable, but you can always keep your accounts even on the cash basis. The whole idea is to maintain double entry bookkeeping. Why? Because both the aspects of accounting should be complete here in order to accurately and Completely prepare the financial statements. Next one, a very simple one. What is the purpose of trial balance? And this is one of the most repeated questions in your competitive exam. What is the major function of a trial balance? Any idea, guys? Why do we even prepare the trial balance? For ascertaining the arithmetical accuracy. Please do remember this one. Now the name says it all, trial balance. We are just trying to match the balance. So the whole idea is whether the debit is equal to credit or not. Whether the debit is equal to the credit or not, right? That's why we call it as statement which shows the arithmetical accuracy. Next one, in the accounting process, the book where all the business transactions are first recorded in a chronological order before classification is known as which of the following? Is known as which of the following? Guys, option D is not correct. Option D here is not correct. The correct choice is books of original entry, which we call it as journal. All the business transactions are recorded for the first time in chronological order. I am recording it for the first time in chronological order. That is called as journal, and journal is also called as books of original entry or books of primary entry. Okay, books of original entry or books of primary entry. Next one. The book of account which contains classified and summarized information showing the effect of each transaction on specific account level data is known as which of the following? Is known as which of the following? This is from your basics of accounts. This is from your basics of account. The correct choice here is book of final entry, option C. Book of final entry. Why? Because classified information in specific account is known as ledger. In ledger, I also call it as book of final entry. Book of final entry. Okay, so please do remember these basic things of accounting. Next one, can you tell me the statement through which I can determine my gross profit or gross loss? Statement through which I can identify my gross profit or gross loss. So close to 220 questions we will be having in this particular session. Okay, the target should be at least 200. The correct choice here is option C, trading account. So very good, Manish. Trading account. Trading account shows the gross profit or gross loss. P&L account shows the net profit or net loss. Okay, so please do remember this thing. All the direct and indirect expenses, all the direct and indirect income are there in my trading and P&L account. So the direct income and direct expenses are there in my trading account. The indirect expense and indirect income are there in my P&L account. Next one. Which of the following financial statement is prepared to show the financial performance of an enterprise over the particular accounting period? A very simple one. Financial performance. Guys, I'm not talking about the financial position. You guys are getting confused. I'm talking about the financial performance, and performance is always depicted by profit and loss account and not balance sheet. Balance sheet shows the financial position. P&L account shows the financial performance. Right? Which of the following sets of activity are included in bookkeeping process? Tell me the activities that are included in bookkeeping process. So we do have accounting, we do have bookkeeping as well as part of accounting. Specifically tell me the activities of bookkeeping process. Options are in front of you. And no matter if you are giving IFSC exam or any other exam which has accounting, this session will be very, very relevant for you all, right? In this, you will be able to revise your accounting portion. You will be able to revise your costing portion as well. Option C here is the correct choice. Identification of transaction, recording in journal and posting it to the ledger. These kind of things are being done by the bookkeeper and not the accountant, right? These clerical things are being done by the bookkeeper. So this is my accounting process. It starts with identification of financial transaction. First, what I do is I identify the financial transaction, then record it in journal. Journal is also called as book of primary entry, book of original entry. Then I classify it in ledger. Ledger is also called as book of final entry. Then I summarize it in my trial balance. I check the arithmetical accuracy, whether debit is equal to credit or not. Then I prepare trading P&L account. From trading account, I get my gross profit or gross loss. From P&L account, I get my net profit or net loss. Then I prepare my balance sheet to know the exact financial position. Trading P&L account is for the financial performance. Then analysis and interpretation, ratio analysis, and then at the end of the day, I communicate to the users regarding the financial results. Next one is related to your accounting equation. A company purchases a furniture for 3 lakh rupees. The company paid 50,000 in cash and the rest of the amount the company paid by borrowing 2,50,000 rupee. What will happen to the accounting equation? Can you tell me that? What will happen to the accounting equation? What will happen to the accounting equation? So furniture is up by 3 lakhs. I paid cash of 50,000. So can I say that my asset size is increased by 3 lakhs minus 50,000 cash is out. So 2.5 lakh is the increase in my asset side. What about my liability? 2.5 lakh. So asset and liability both are increasing by 2.5 lakh, right? Perfect. Next one. Which of the following is not a correct accounting equation? Now my accounting equation is always asset is equal to liability plus capital. Asset is equal to liability plus capital. So here I can see that one option is there. Asset is equal to liability minus capital. Look for the options. Look for the direct options. Say for example, what do you mean by direct options? Asset is equal to liability plus capital is the correct equation. But you need to look for those options that is having the same structure. Asset is equal to structure. So I am having two options here, C and D. Now asset is equal to liability plus capital. This is correct. Asset is equal to liability minus capital. I directly came to the conclusion that option D is incorrect. Otherwise, in these kind of question, your time will be wasted. So look for the direct structure. Asset is equal to liability plus capital. You have two options. Asset is equal to वाले. इसमें से incorrect find out करना बहुत easy है. चारों को देखूंगा तो मेरा 1 मिनट खराब हो जाएगा. 1 से 2 मिनट मेरे खराब हो सकते हैं. I don't want my time to be wasted, right? So that should be the exam oriented approach, क्योंकि एग्जाम में सही आंसर करना is not so important. सही आंसर करना कम टाइम में is very very important. Okay. So assets are my valuable resources, liabilities are my obligations, revenue is what I am able to earn by selling my goods and services, expenses is what I need to incur in order to earn the revenue, right? Expenses minus income will be my profit. These are the balance sheet items, and these two, revenue and income, revenue and expenses, these are my trading P&L item, right? Then this is the T-shaped format of my balance sheet. Plant and machinery, land and building, these are my non-current assets. Non-current asset, those assets that are realizable, that are giving me the future economic benefit for more than 1 year. These assets are giving me the future economic benefit for more than 1 year. Rest of the assets are current assets. They will be realizable into cash, or they will be giving me the benefit within 1 accounting year only. So that's what current asset is all about. Then I have equity and preferential capital, general reserve. So this will be part of my capital in shareholder funds. Then we do have debentures, long term loans, non-current liabilities, long-term liabilities, and then current liabilities, trade creditors and bank overdraft, and this is what my accounting equation is. Asset is equal to my liability plus capital, and that always hold true. It's based on dual aspect, dual accounting aspect. Next one, Ind AS are notified by which of the following institutions or entities? Any idea? Ind AS. The correct choice is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Can you also tell me the threshold for determining the applicability of the Ind AS for the unlisted company? Let's suppose I am an unlisted company. What will be the threshold applicable? What will be the applicable threshold? The applicable threshold will be 250 crore or more. If my net worth is greater than 250 crore, then I need to follow the Ind AS, right? So that's what the applicability of Ind AS is. Doesn't matter whether I am a listed company, so definitely I need to follow it. Even if I am an unlisted company, 250 crore or more is the criteria of net worth. Even if I am an NBFC company, 250 crore or more is the criteria. Banks and insurance company, as of now, Ind AS are not applicable. Right, they are deferred by RBI and IRDAI respectively. Next one, revenue and expenses must be recorded in the accounting period in which they are earned or incurred, no matter when cash receipt or cash outlay occur. Which of the following is the correct method of accounting here as per the given statement? Transactions are recorded in the period in which they takes place, not when settlement in money takes place. Mercantile basis of accounting is the correct choice. Mercantile basis is nothing but accrual basis only. Accrual basis only. Okay, mercantile basis. Next one, which of the following is not considered as a basic accounting assumption? There are three basic accounting assumptions. Which of the following is not one of the basic accounting assumption here? Going concern, consistency, accrual, prudence, none of these. Prudence. The three accounting assumptions, basic accounting assumptions are going concern, consistency and accrual only, right? These are the three fundamental accounting assumptions. Next one, under the traditional rule of accounting, what is the nature of rent account? What is the nature of rent account? Personal, real, nominal, artificial or representative? The correct choice here is it is a nominal account. Why? Because it can be an income for the landlord, it can be an expense for the tenant. In both the cases, all the income and expenditure related accounts are always nominal. But what about outstanding rent? Will the same classification of nominal account will be applicable on the outstanding rent as well, or it will be a different classification? What do you think about outstanding rent? What about outstanding rent? Yes, it is a personal account. Why? Because it's a representative personal account. Outstanding rent is nothing but a representation of my landlord, right? Representative personal account. Next one, advance received from a customer is not considered as a sale. It is based on which concept? Advance received from a customer is not considered as a sale. Because of what concept or convention? Because of the accrual concept. Okay, that's why I treat advance as my advance, not as my sales. I don't consider advance as my sales. Why? Because of accrual concept, transactions are recorded in the period in which they takes place, irrespective of the money settlement. Debtor and creditor, what do you think? Should be classified as per which type of account in the traditional accounting? In the traditional rule of accounting, how do I classify the debtor and creditor? Personal, real, nominal, artificial, representative. As per the personal account, okay, they are personal account. Debtors and creditors usually are natural person account. Which of the following accounting standard relates to accounting for depreciation? Depreciation related accounting standard, which is the one? It is accounting standard 10. So for property, plant and equipment and the depreciation related to property, plant and equipment, accounting standard 10. Earlier it used to be AS6. Now it is not AS6. AS6 is abolished as of now, right? And we do have AS10 both for property, plant and equipment and your depreciation. Okay, so it is not AS6 here. It is AS10. Next one. The capital required for the day-to-day business operation is known as working capital. Can you guys tell me how do we calculate the working capital? How do we calculate the working capital? How do we calculate the working capital, guys? Quickly in the comment section. Sir, I haven't done accounting and costing. Will this session be sufficient? Yes, Ms. Sharma. Definitely this session will be sufficient, right? I won't say that you will be able to cover the entire accounting and costing with one single session. That's not at all possible. Otherwise, nobody would have covered it, right? But if you cover it very well, if you do this particular session very well, there might be chances that direct questions you'll be getting from this particular session, and that's what happened in the PFRD examination as well. Most of the questions came from the MCQ related sessions, most of the numericals as well. Okay, so if you do it very well, definitely it will help you. But if you haven't touched accounting and costing, I will advise you to please stick to basics at least, because in IFSC exam, as per the previous year question paper pattern, most of the questions are from basic stuff of costing and accounting, right? So don't go now too much into the details of numericals and all. You can still cover it. Here the correct choice is option B, net current asset. Net current asset. What do you mean by net current asset? Current asset minus current liability. And what is gross working capital? Is the total of current asset. Total of all the current assets. So if somebody is asking you working capital, it means they are asking you net working capital. And if they clearly are stating gross working capital, then only you need to state total of other current asset. Rest working capital, net working capital will be current asset minus current liability. Okay. Net current asset is nothing but current asset minus current liability only. Next one. Under which of the following head will machinery under construction be presented in the balance sheet of a company? So we'll be presenting it in the capital WIP section of the balance sheet, right? This is a fixed asset, but as of now I cannot call it as fixed asset because it is still under construction. It is still under construction. That's why I'm showing it as capital WIP. Next one. The aggregate of cash flow arising from obtaining or losing control of subsidies should be classified as which of the following activity? Can be important. Obtaining or losing control of subsidies. Subsidiary companies basically. And what is a subsidiary company? When you are having more than 50% holding in a particular company, we call it as a subsidiary company. The correct choice here will be investing activity. Okay. You have invested in a company, that's why it's your subsidiary company. You must have invested in that company's equity share capital. Next one. Depreciation related question. Original cost of the asset is 2 lakh. Depreciation rate is 10%. WDV, written down value. You need to tell me the written down value of the asset at the end of the third year. Charge depreciation for 3 years. Charge depreciation for 3 years and tell me the WDV. Tell me the WDV here. So first year 2 lakh minus 10%. 1,80,000 is the residual value. Minus 10%. 1,60,000 is the residual value. Minus 10%. 1,45,800 is the correct choice. Option B. Option B here is the correct choice. Perfect. Which accounting concept or approach ensures that the financial statements are present a true and fair view of the company's financial position? True and fair view of the company's financial position. Any idea about this one? That's prudence only. That's prudence only. Okay, that's prudence. The cost of the asset is 60,000. The useful life of the asset is 10 years. The depreciation rate is 10%. Salvage value 10,000. What will be the value of depreciation for third year as per straight line method depreciation? A very, very simple question, a very, very direct question, because the method here is SLM method, straight line method. What is the formula to calculate depreciation in SLM? Original cost minus salvage value divided by useful life. So 5,000 will be the answer. Why? Because in straight line method of depreciation, it will always be the same only. The depreciation will always remain the same only. This rate is completely irrelevant. I don't even care about the rate in SLM method. Had it been WDV, this rate would have been useful. As of now, this is not at all useful. Next one. What do you mean by other comprehensive income can be important for your examination? It can come as an exceptional question. Most of the students won't be able to answer this question in the examination. If you have studied it well, then only you can answer this one. Other comprehensive income, OCI. What is other comprehensive income, guys? It's a Ind AS terminology, okay? It's not a accounting standard terminology. It is an Indian accounting standard terminology. OCI, other comprehensive income. The correct choice here will be C. It consists of income or expenses not included in the statement of P&L, and they are unrealized gains and losses. That's why we have created a separate statement, other comprehensive income. Next one. Deferred tax liability will be shown under which of the following head of the balance sheet? Deferred tax liability. Multiple times it has come in the examination. The correct choice is non-current liability. Deferred tax liability is shown as a non-current liability. Okay, option B. Next one. Which of the accounting principle is followed when the advertisement expenditure is classified as deferred revenue expenditure? This is a complex one. Deferred revenue expenditure. The correct choice here is matching concept. Okay, matching concept. So the whole idea is matching the expenditure with the related revenue. So if I have done an advertisement expenses, I'll be gaining some sales, right? It will help me generate more and more sales. So that's why we are deferring it. Why? Because it's not like that I have done an advertisement expenditure, so the benefit will be completely realized in this particular financial year only. That's why I'm deferring it in the different years. Next one. Amit spent 15,000 on repairs, 35,000 on polishing of old building with the aim to diversify his business. He incurred expenses to extend the building by adding a basement. The cost of construction is 1,50,000 along with 20,000 for the electrical fittings in the basement. How much will be the revenue expenditure? How much will be the revenue expenditure? Read this question carefully and answer the same. Correct choice here is 50,000. Only the first and the second expenditure will be revenue nature expenditure. Rest both of them are capital nature expenditure. If I am constructing a basement, that's a capital nature expenditure. If I am doing electrical fitting for the first time in the basement, that's a capital expenditure. 50,000 is the correct one. Next one. Which company is required to prepare a consolidated accounts? Which company is required to prepare consolidated accounts? Holding company. It must be a holding company, right? Maybe it's a listed company but no other company is there like subsidiary or associate, then why it will be preparing the consolidated accounts? That's why if it is a holding company, it needs to prepare a consolidated accounts, right? No matter whether it is listed or not. Next one. Tell me the Indian accounting standard dealing with the cash flow statement. One of the most asked question in your competitive exam. This has appeared highest number of times in all the competitive exams. Indian accounting standards dealing with cash flow statement. The number of Indian accounting standard dealing with cash flow statement. Now you need to know both the accounting standard as well as the Indian accounting standard dealing with the cash flow statement. The Indian accounting standard is 7. The accounting standard is which one? Can you also guys tell me the accounting standard of cash flow statement? Seven is the Indian accounting standard. And what about the accounting standard, guys? No, AS6 is not there as of now. AS6 used to be of depreciation, then AS6 was removed. AS6 is no more as of now accounting standard. For depreciation we do have AS10. What about AS related to the cash flow statement? It is accounting standard 3. Please do remember, it is accounting standard 3 and it is Indian accounting standard 7. I am talking about the cash flow statement, okay? AS3. Next one. The aggregate cash flow arising from obtaining or losing control and subsidy. I think we have already discussed this one. Investing activity. This is a repeated question. Now following data is given. You need to calculate the amount of purchases. Can you tell me the amount of purchase here? What is the amount of purchase? This will be the formula, right, of cost of goods sold, and we need to calculate the purchase. So by adjusting the value, we will be getting 20,000, right? Perfect. 20,000 will be the correct choice here. Can you guys also tell me the full form of IFRS? IFRS. It is International Financial Reporting Standards. Okay, International Financial Reporting Standards. Next one. 1 lakh rupee spent by a factory in the overhauling of its existing plant and machinery. It has enhanced the working life by 5 years. What is this kind of expenditure? What is the category? What is the nature of this kind of expenditure? It is a capital expenditure. Why? Because it has increased the useful life of that particular asset. And please do remember the difference between the capital and revenue nature expenditure. The capital expenditure always results in a creation of fixed asset, right? Income received in advance is a categorization under which accounting rule? What will be the categorization of the income received in advance as per the traditional rule of accounting, guys? I have received an income in advance. Personal, real, nominal, artificial, representative. What if this what if this question comes in the exam as it is? You guys, there will be confused between the personal account and the representative personal account. This is income which is received in advance. This is not income. This is a liability. You have received an advance. This is not income, so it can never be nominal account. It can never be nominal account. Now, what will be the apt choice as per your understanding? Let's suppose this is an examination question. Which option will you be ticking? Option A, option E. Which option you need to, what do you think? Which option can be a better choice? A or E? Both are correct because both the options are correct here, A and D. The correct choice should be representative personal account. Representative's personal account because it is more specific. Okay, it is more specific. Both A and E are correct, but representative personal account is more specific in nature. So ideally you should take option E. Next one. Which among the following would be classified as a part of an internal liability? Internal liability. Internal liability. It will be the profit earned by the company and not yet distributed. Why? Because as per business entity concept, profits, capital, they are a liability for the business. They are a liability for the business. IASB full form. Can you tell me the full form of IASB? The correct choice here is option B, International Accounting Standard Board. International Accounting Standard Board. Accounting standards are issued by which of the following bodies? I am talking about the accounting standards. It is the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI. Okay. Next one. Company issued 10,000 shares at a premium of 10%. This can be important. With a face value of 10 rupee per share, how much amount will be credited to the securities premium account? How much amount will be credited to the securities premium account? Option A, 10,000 rupees. How? Have a look. Whatever the face value of the share is, will always go to share capital account. So 10,000 multiplied by 10 up to face value. 1 lakh rupee will go to the share capital account. I am charging a premium of 10% on the face value. So face value is 10 rupee, premium is 10%, 1 rupee. 1 rupee is my premium. 10,000 rupees will go to the securities premium account. Always do remember, whenever we talk about share capital, in share capital, the amount of face value will only go, right? Only the amount up to face value will go to the share capital. Rest over and above will always go to the securities premium account. Can you tell me the accounting standard for inventory? It is very, very simple. AS2. Right, accounting standard 2, and the Ind AS is also 2. Ind AS is also 2. The balance of fixed asset of Y Limited at a cost at the end of 2020 and 2021 were 5,70,800 and 6,15,300 respectively. Now during the year 2021, a machinery costing rupees 60,000 was sold. Determine the purchase of fixed asset in 2021. How much we have purchased in 2021? Option B, 1,04,500. How we have computed? In 2020, we were having 5,70,800. Right? I have sold machinery worth rupees 60,000. What is the amount? 5,10,800. Right? However, still I am having the balance of 6,15,300. How it increased? Must be purchased. This much I have purchased, right? So that's why it is 1,04,500. A Limited had 1500 units of product Z on March 2021. The product has been purchased at a cost of 28 per unit and normally sells for 34 rupee per unit. Now this question directly came in your PFRDA examination और PFRDA examination में भी मैंने ये वाला question करवाया था, क्लास में भी और आपके MCQ free sessions में भी. Recently product Z started to deteriorate, so the value started going down because of the deterioration, but can still be sold for 34 rupee per unit provided that some kind of rectification work was undertaken at the cost of 13 rupee. What is the value of the closing inventory on 31st March 2021? This is a question from your accounting standard 2. The correct choice here will be option D. Option D, 31,500. Right, so the cost is 28 rupee, but the NRV is 34 minus 13, 21. So the lower of cost and NRV is 21. Lower of cost and NRV 21. Right, so I'll be valuing my inventory at the lower of cost and NRV, and that's what the main purpose of AS2 is. Right. So 31,500 will be the correct choice here. Next one. R Limited imported a machinery of $10,000 on 23rd January 2021. The payment for the same was made by the company on 7th of May 2021. The exchange rate was 74.5 and 75.3 respectively. What is the amount recorded in the P&L account for the financial year 2022? For the financial year 2022. Profit of 5,000 rupees, right? Profit of 5,000 rupees is the correct choice. The correct profit will be 5,000 rupee. Now this is a question which I can relate with accounting standard 11. Accounting standard 11. Okay, I have given you the detailed solution as well. Please do watch this one. Okay, please do watch this one. Acha, this is from the chapter of cash flow statement, right? Though this kind of questions are not coming in your examination as of now, but it might come, right? In any of the examination, maybe in your IFSCA, maybe in your SEBI examination as well. You need to determine the cash flow from financing activity. They have given you the cash flow from operating activity 6,000, from investing activity negative 5,000. And there was a net increase or decrease in cash of 13,000. There was an increase of cash totality basis 13,000. On totality basis, the increase was on. There was a net increase of 13,000. So what will be the cash inflow or outflow as per the financing activity. Any idea about this one? The correct choice here will be, guys, 12,000. Okay, 12,000. How? The net difference here is 1,000 positive because of operating activity and investing activity. Even after this, there is a total increase of 13,000 rupees. So can I say the total increase of 13,000 is due to the financing activity of 12,000. 1,000 I gained from here और 12,000 रुपीज़ मुझे कहाँ से मिल गया? फाइनेंसिंग एक्टिविटी से मिल गया. सो ऑन अ टोटलिटी बेसिस आई कैन से 13,000 का इंक्रीज हो गया. दैट्स वाई फाइनेंसिंग एक्टिविटी हियर विल बी ऑप्शन ए. Which of the following accounting standard is related to revenue recognition? Revenue recognition accounting standard. A very simple one, guys. This is a very simple one. It is accounting standard 9, right? And can you also tell me the respective Ind AS? Can be important. Which is the respective Ind AS here? Respective Ind AS. Yes, sure, you can give this examination after your CA Inter, right? But don't do both the exams at the same time because both are different exams. For sure, you can try it after your Inter exams, okay? Ind AS is 115, revenue from contracts with customer, okay? Next one, which of the following is not a part of liquid asset or quick asset? Liquid asset or quick asset, everyone is a part of quick asset except the prepaid expenses. So we never take prepaid expense, advance tax, right, and inventories in the calculation of the quick assets. Here you need to find out the current ratio. Current asset divided by current liability is the formula. So I am having short-term borrowings. This is my current liability. Bank OD, this is my current liability. Creditor, this is my current liability. Now rest of the things, I don't see a current liability in the rest of the things. So these three are my current liability, right? These three are my current liability. What about my current asset? These are my fixed assets. Stock is my current asset. This is a fake asset, fictitious asset. Debtor is my current asset. Cash is my current asset. Preliminary expense, again a fake asset. So total of these three will be my current asset and this is my current liability. A very simple question. देखो अभी फिलहाल इस एग्ज़ाम का डेट भी निकल चुका है ना, तो आप अपने सीए इंटर पे फोकस कर सकते हो अभी, पर ये वाले एग्ज़ाम्स बहुत सारे आते रहते हैं, राइट? सेबी हो गया, आईएफएससी हो गया, पीएफआरडी हो गया, तो अगली बार आप दे सकते हो, ठीक है? अभी आप आपके सीए इंटर पे ध्यान दे सकते हो, बट जब भी कोई नया एग्ज़ाम आता है, सो डेफिनेटली यू कैन सब्सक्राइब टू अवर चैनल. वी फ्रीक्वेंटली पोस्ट नोटिफिकेशन रिलेटेड वीडियोज़ एज वेल. वेन एवर द नेक्स्ट नोटिफिकेशन विल कम, आप इसको एग्ज़ाम टारगेट कर सकते हो, ठीक है? सो इधर आपका आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? 2.24 हो जाएगा, ठीक है? Next is your quick ratio. Now the current liability portion will remain the same only. Yes, SEBI की नोटिफिकेशन आउट हो चुकी है. डेफिनेटली मैं भी वीडियो बना रहा होता, पर अभी मैं रिवीजन सेशन ले रहा हूँ आप लोगों का. सो यहाँ पे हम फोकस करते हैं. ठीक है, SEBI की नोटिफिकेशन भी आउट हो चुकी है. सो दिस इज माई करंट लाइबिलिटी गाइस. ठीक है, अभी IFSCA वाले सिर्फ IFSCA पे ध्यान दो. What about the quick assets? Stock I won't be taking. Debtors and cash I can take. So this will be my quick asset. So quick asset divided by current liability here will be the correct choice. A very simple one. Here the answer should be 1.04. 1.04. Next we need to calculate the cash ratio. Again my current liability will be the same only. Cash ratio is cash and cash equivalent divided by my current liability. This is my current liability. Right, this is my current liability. What about my cash and cash equivalent? I only have cash as of now in my cash and cash equivalent. So 24,000 divided by the total of my current liability. This will be the cash ratio. This will be the cash ratio. .07 will be my cash ratio. Acha, which term describe the market price of a share just before the right issue is announced? Any idea guys about this one? It is come right market price, right? Come right market price. Just before the right issue, come right market price. Just after the right issue, X right market price. And the difference between come right and X right price is nothing but the value of right. Okay. Perfect. Acha, this one. Dash is the amount by which the carrying amount. This is an important question for your examination. By which the carrying amount. Let's suppose my carrying amount is 1 lakh rupee. And my carrying amount is exceeding the recoverable amount. My recoverable amount is 80,000 rupee. My carrying amount is 1 lakh rupee. So can I say that the asset is valued at 1 lakh rupee, however, I am just able to recover only 80,000 rupees. So what about the rest of the 20,000? It will be the impairment loss. It will be the impairment loss, right? Which part of the issued capital which the investors want to buy and applied for? What is the part of the issued capital which the investors want to buy and they have applied for? And the correct choice guys here is option E. Okay, option E is the correct choice. Subscribed capital. Subscribed capital. Next one. Can you tell me the correct formula to calculate the X right price under the right issue? And you can get a question as well on this. We'll be doing a particular question, a numerical question as well on this particular concept. The correct choice here will be option B. Whatever new proceeds you are able to generate, whatever fresh issue whatever new proceed you are able to generate plus your old market capitalization divided by the total number of new shares, divided by the total number of new shares. This will be the correct choice here, okay. Which among the following describes the calls in area of a company issuing the capital? Calls in areas. It is a asset. It is a asset for the company. Why? Because in the near future I'll be receiving that particular money. Next one. Where should the amount incurred on a patent which is still in process of being developed be shown according to the Schedule 3 of the Companies Act? So I'll be showing it in the intangible assets under development, right? Intangible assets under development. Now have a look at the following data. Read the below information and answer the following question. Opening stock 2 lakh, closing stock 2 lakh 20,000. Purchases during the year are 14 lakhs rupees. Goods are sold at a profit of 30% on cost, and you need to calculate the revenue from operation. You need to calculate the revenue from operation. A very simple one. Just the basic understanding of accounting is required to solve this particular question. So you just need to use the formula of cost of goods sold here. Opening stock plus purchase minus the closing stock. This will give me my cost of goods sold. You know the profit element as well. It's 30% on cost. So in the cost of goods sold, just directly add 30%. You will be getting your sales. That's it. The correct answer will be option C, 17 lakh 94,000 here. Opening stock plus purchase minus my closing stock. This will give me my cost of goods sold. And the profit is already 30% on cost. So cost of goods sold plus 30%. This will give me my sales value. A very simple one. How are the advances and loans made by the financial institutions classified in the cash flow statement? Loans and advances made by the financial institutions. The correct choice here is operating activity. Okay, it will be an operating activity. It's the day-to-day operation of the financial institution to give loans and advances. That's why it will be an operating activity and not an investing or a financing activity. Why? Because for financial institutions, it is a day-to-day activity, right? That's a part and parcel of their business of giving loans and advances. That's why it's an operating activity. अगर मैं दे रहा होता किसी को लोन्स एंड एडवांसेस तो मेरे लिए इन्वेस्टिंग एक्टिविटी हो जाती. ठीक है. सो कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट गाइज इज अ पार्ट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट. डू रिमेंबर फंड फ्लो स्टेटमेंट इज नेवर अ पार्ट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट. फंड फ्लो स्टेटमेंट इज नेवर अ पार्ट ऑफ फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट. So as per section 2 subsection 40 of the Companies Act 2013, these are the parts of my financial statement. There are 5 parts: profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow statement, notes to accounts, statement of changes in equity. Please do remember this one, right? And these are the activities of the cash flow statement: operating, investing, financing. Tell me this one: the claim against the company not acknowledged as debt is classified as which of the following? Claim against the company but not acknowledged as debt, that's nothing but a contingent liability, right? That's a contingent liability. Let's suppose somebody filed a suit of 1 crore rupee on me. Is it my debt? No. As of now the matter is pending in the court. It's a contingent liability. Option E. It will never be recorded in my balance sheet. It will be recorded in the notes to accounts. Okay, it will be recorded in the notes to accounts. Again, we have discussed this one, value of right related. Next one, what is the maximum limit for share buyback in a particular financial year? Can you guys tell me the maximum limit of share buyback in a financial year, guys? Quickly. The correct choice here will be 25%. Okay, option D, 25%. Next one, which of the following is generally not available for financing a buyback of share? Which of the following is generally not available for buyback of shares? So that is capital reserve, because buyback I make from free reserve, securities premium account, proceeds of any other specified security. Can you guys tell me which of the following statement are correct here? A, B and D are correct here. A, B and D are correct here. Okay. Reserves and surplus is always a positive figure. That's not correct. Okay. Reserves and surplus is not is always a positive figure. It can be a negative figure as well, right? It can be negative figure as well. Yes, it was for the financial year only. In a financial year, so 25%, that's fine. %25 is fine for the financial year. How can it be negative? Good question. Let's suppose you are having general reserve of 100 rupee, but you are having a loss in your P&L account of 150 rupee. You need to write a negative figure as per schedule 3 requirement, even if because of the loss the entire figure of your reserves and surplus becomes negative, still you need to show it in the reserves and surplus only. Show it as a negative figure, right? So it is not a rule that it will be a positive figure, it can be negative as well. Committed reserves means those reserves that are not free reserve, right? Committed किसको बोलते हैं हम? Committed किसको बोलते हैं हम जनरल लाइफ में, है ना? तो वैसे ही अगर कोई रिजर्व कमिटेड है मतलब ये किसी का हो चुका है, है ना, ये किसी का हो चुका है, इट इज नॉट अ फ्री रिजर्व, ये अवेलेबल नहीं है, कमिटेड है, ठीक है. Which of the following correctly describes the tangible net worth of a company? Tangible net worth of a company. Important. Yes, auditor साहब. Export reserve is a committed reserve. Tangible net worth. You don't have to calculate net worth here, but tangible net worth. Option D here will be the correct choice. Why? Because you need to eliminate the intangible assets as well. For tangible asset calculation, tangible net worth calculation, you need to eliminate the intangible assets as well. So share capital plus reserves minus intangible assets. Option D. What is the effect on the quick ratio when the company successfully collect cash from its trade receivable? A company is able to collect cash from the trade receivable. What will be the impact on the quick ratio? Brijesh, definitely you will be getting the PDF as well of this particular session. Please download the Oliveboard app and please join our Telegram channel as well of Oliveboard. Definitely you will be getting the PDF PDF of this particular session as well. व्हाट्सएप नंबर यार मैं दे नहीं सकता आपको, ठीक है, अलाउड नहीं है मुझे व्हाट्सएप नंबर देना आप लोगों को. बाकी एज सच आप कभी भी मुझसे कनेक्ट कर सकते हो लाइव क्लासेस के अंदर ऑन यूट्यूब एज वेल. देर आर सो मेनी फ्री सेशंस ऑन यूट्यूब दैट इज शेड्यूल्ड एंड आई एम ऑल्सो फ्रॉम द सेम फ्रेटर्निटी ओनली. आप सीए कर रहे हो, मैं भी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट ही हूँ. ओके, सो डेफिनेटली डू वॉच द सेशंस. देर आर मल्टीपल सेशंस लाइंड अप रिलेटेड टू different things on YouTube. Here the correct choice, the ratio will remain unaffected. Why? Because if you are receiving cash from your trade receivables are going down and your cash is going up. They both are quick assets only. So it won't hamper the ratio as a whole. Okay. Next one, which of the following is represented by an estimated amount to meet a loss or expense in the future? That's called as a provision. Right? That's called as a provision, option C. Which of the following transaction is related to foreign exchange transaction basically. Sorry, which of the question framing is not correct. Which of the following accounting standard is related to foreign exchange transaction basically? Yes, it is accounting standard 11. And what will be the Indian accounting standard? What will be the Indian accounting standard for Forex? Do research about it after this class, okay? Next one, according to Ind AS 36, I know Ind AS 36 is not in your course. When should the asset be declared as impaired? Important, very, very important for your upcoming examination. Option C, when recoverable amount is less than the carrying amount. I'm carrying something at 100 rupee, but I'm only able to recover 80 rupee out of it. So can I say that 20 rupee is nothing but impairment? That's impairment, right? A company's working capital is 20 lakh rupee. The annual sales is 120 lakh rupee. What will be the working capital turnover ratio? In turnover ratio, net sales or the turnover is always in the numerator. So I think this is one of the most simplest question. So 120 divided by 20 is the correct choice. 6 times. Okay, 6 times. Don't give more than 4 to 5 seconds on these kind of questions, right? This won't give you a competitive advantage. This question will never give you a competitive advantage because 90% of the students will solve it correctly. Though there will be some students वो क्या करेंगे 20 divided by 120 कर देंगे 120 divided by 20 की जगह. ठीक है, तो मानते हैं 70%, 60 to 70% लोग इसको सही कर रहे हैं. सो यू कैन ओनली गेट अ टाइम एडवांटेज हियर. ऐसे क्वेश्चन में सिर्फ कुछ सेकंड्स बचाए जा सकते हैं, इससे कुछ कॉम्पिटिटिव एडवांटेज नहीं मिलता. नेक्स्ट वन, Ind AS 105 इज रिलेटेड टू विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग? सो Ind AS 105 इज रिलेटेड टू नॉन करंट असेट्स हेल्ड फॉर सेल एंड डिसकंटिन्यूड ऑपरेशन. आउट ऑफ कोर्स क्वेश्चन, और एक आध आउट ऑफ कोर्स क्वेश्चन हर एग्जाम में आता है, राइट? Ind AS 105. Which of the following will be impacted by the bonus issue? Now, a related question was there in the PFRD examination as well. Which of the following will be impacted by a bonus issue? No impact. No impact. What happens in case of a bonus issue? The reserves and surplus go down, whereas the share capital go up. So can I say net, there is no impact on the shareholders fund. There is no impact on the equity shareholders fund. No impact. The shareholders worth, equity shareholders fund, everything will be the same only. If they clearly ask about share capital, it will increase. If they clearly ask about reserves and surplus, it will decrease. If they have asked about the number of shares, it would increase. But as of now, there will be no impact. So this is a trick question. It is a trick question, right? Next one, can you guys tell me the journal entry? Now, usually in IFSC A, journal entries are not asked, right? Still, on a concept basis, you can easily answer this question. A company has made a right issue of 2 lakh shares at 10 rupee at a premium of 20%. At a premium of 20%. So can I say that this is the face value, this is the number of share? There is only one option in which the capital is credited by 20 lakh rupees, right? So option B will be the correct choice. I won't be even looking at the rest of the options. Why? Because the very first thing that I need to know is up to the amount of face value will always go to the share capital. The face value will be 20 lakhs. So this is the only possible option as of now. I'll directly tick this option unless and until there is none of the above, all of the above, or both 2 options or 3 options like that. Unless and until, if that's a mutually exclusive option, I'll directly tick B. I won't even read, right? Why? Because there is only one option where the share capital is getting credited by 20 lakh rupees, right? So if you are also having a good command over accountancy, you can do these kind of things. Otherwise, I will advise you guys to at least read. So option B here will be the correct choice. Ind AS 21 is the Ind AS related to the exchange rate fluctuations. Non-monetary items are to be valued at which of the following? Can be important. Can be important. Transaction date. Option A, transaction date. Okay. Next one. What does a decrease in the cash conversion cycle indicate? If there is a decrease in the cash conversion cycle, that means faster collection, faster conversion of assets are there into cash, right? Earlier I used to collect the cash in 20 days. Now I am able to collect in 15 days only. That means I am able to collect it faster. That's what the meaning of cash conversion cycle is. Acha, tell me the full form of NEFRA. NFRA. NEFRA's full form. National Financial Reporting Authority, right? National Financial Reporting Authority. As per AS9 revenue recognition, I just need to match the pairs. So if I am getting interest, it will be booked on time proportion basis. Royalties, as per the agreement, on accrual basis. Dividend, when the right to receive payment is established at the time of declaration of dividend of the company, not at the time of proposal of dividend. Please do remember this concept. We have covered this multiple times. Accounting standard 13 is related to which of the following? Related to investments, right? Option B, investments. Now you need to find out the closing stock valuation. There are 3 products. You all know that the concept is cost and NRV, whichever is lower. Just try to find out the closing stock inventory valuation here. $11,000 will be the correct choice. Do remember, never total the fair values and the cost. We need to check it item by item basis. Okay, item by item basis. So here lower of cost or NRV, cost is lower. Here NRV fair value is lower. Here cost is lower. And just multiply it with the units. That's it. Okay. That's it. 11,000 will be the correct choice. After a company conducts a share buyback, what should be the status of the debt to equity ratio as per the financial regulators of India? It is 2:1. Okay, 2:1. It should not exceed 2:1. Next one. As per the Companies Act 2013, every buyback should be completed within a period of 1 year. 1 year from the date of passing the special resolution, you need to complete the buyback within 1 year. Next one is related to the return on asset. Can you guys calculate it? Return on asset. Profit after tax divided by the average assets is the formula. How much return I am able to generate by using these assets? So average assets they have clearly given me 10 lakh rupees. So one aspect is sorted. Denominator is sorted. I need to calculate the profit after tax. What will be my profit after tax, guys? They have given me sales, cost of goods sold. So my sales is 3 lakh rupees. Cost of goods sold is 1,40,000 rupees. Pre-interest operating expense. So basically these are operating expense 30,000. Let's deduct that. I'll be getting the EBIT here, which is my operating profit. Then I need to deduct the interest expense of 10,000 to make it EBT, and if I want to make it after tax, I need to deduct the tax amount as well, which is 20% here. This will be my profit after tax. This will be my profit after tax. So my correct answer here will be, say, 9.6%. 9.6% will be my correct answer, right? We just need to calculate the profit after tax and we need to divide it by the total assets. That will give me my return on assets. That will give me my return on assets. Next one. ABC Limited purchases during the year were 2 lakh rupees. The balance sheet is showing the average accounts payable of 15,000. You need to calculate the payable period. ABC's payable period. Can you guys tell me what is the payable period here? What will be the payable period here? The payable period here will be, guys, option B, 28 days. Okay, 28 days. So it's quite simple. Basically, you know the purchases divided by your average accounts payable. You will get the turnover ratio. You will be getting the purchase payables turnover ratio basically. And 365 days divided by the payable turnover ratio will be your number of days. So 28 days here will be the correct choice. 28 days here will be the correct choice. Now in this particular question, you need to calculate the interest coverage ratio. They have given you the net profit after tax, 1,20,000. Tax rate is also given. The long-term debt of 10% is 15 lakhs. Long-term debt is also given 15 lakhs. Can you tell me the interest coverage ratio and what is the formula? EBIT divided by interest. EBIT divided by interest obligation is the formula here. The correct choice here will be, guys, 2.6. So my profit after tax is given. First I need to make it before tax. So this is PAT, profit after tax. I need EBIT or PBIT. So this is 1,20,000 rupee. My tax rate is 50%. So I must have deducted my tax in order to calculate the profit after tax. So what will be my profit before tax? 2,40,000 rupees, right? Then you need to add back the interest component as well, which is 1,50,000. 15 lakhs ka 10%, 1,50,000. So 3,90,000 will be your profit before interest and taxes. So 3,90,000 divided by your interest amount of 1,50,000. This will give you your interest coverage ratio. Okay. Slightly complex. Why? Because there is a involvement of a reverse calculation here. There's an involvement of a reverse calculation here. That's why it is slightly complex, right? Just give me a second. Let's start with some questions from the costing now. I'll be giving you some of the homework questions as well, guys. Okay, so when you download this PDF, you will be getting a lot of homework questions as well for your practice, and do not ignore those questions. Okay, so in the best interest of time, what I'm trying to do here is covering the major portion of your accounts and your costing syllabus. Some of the homework questions also you need to cover. That will make a very good coverage of your IFSCA related accounts and costing. So this is our costing syllabus. What strategy you can adopt here is, even if you are not able to do costing till now, read this and this topic very well. First and fourth topic. This should be the priority level 1. Cover this topic very well. Basics of costing. Cover the lean system very well. And high chances that you will be getting around 30 to 40% questions from these two topics only. Maybe more also. It can be a chance that maybe you can get 50% of your costing from these two topics. Because actually the weightage is 50% only, right? There are 4 topics and the 2 major topics we are able to cover. These are completely theory based topics. There is no practical question in these topics. Just a semi-variable related concept is there. Semi-variable cost related concept is there. Rest is quite straight. You can easily do it. Even if you have not touched costing as of now, right? अभी तक कॉस्टिंग टच नहीं की हो तो भी आप ये कर सकते हो अभी भी. इट इज दैट सिंपल. अच्छा, टेल मी दिस वन, व्हाट इज अ कॉस्ट ऑब्जेक्ट. अच्छा, कॉस्टिंग की टर्मिनोलॉजीज को बहुत अच्छे से करना है. प्री डिटरमाइंड कॉस्ट क्या होता है, संक कॉस्ट क्या होता है ना. जो आपकी टर्म्स हैं कॉस्टिंग की, डिफरेंट कॉस्टिंग टर्मिनोलॉजीज, यू नीड टू डू देम वेरी वेल. टेल मी दिस वन, व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट ऑब्जेक्ट इन द कॉस्ट अकाउंटिंग. Option B here is the correct choice. Anything for which a separate measurement of cost is desired is a cost object. जिस particular element का भी मुझे एक separate cost measurement चाहिए, that is a cost object. That is a cost object, right? It can be a product, it can be a service. Let's suppose my product is, say for example, brick, right? So per brick is my measurement unit. So basically we need cost object. We need measurement unit for all the cost objects, right? And whatever I am dealing in, it can be a product, it can be a service. A milkman is dealing in milk, so he needs to measure the milk. So per liter is the cost measurement technique, cost unit used for measuring the milk and liquid, right? So milk here is the cost object. So it's more of about your product and service rather than the measurement. Tell me this one, how to calculate prime cost. One question came in your PFRDA examination as well related to prime cost. And definitely in the IFSCA exam, you can expect simple questions, mostly from the basics. And that's what the major problem is. हम क्या करते हैं, पढ़ते पढ़ते we ignore basics. हमको लगता है सिर्फ advanced level पढ़ लो. Basics को अगर आपने बहुत अच्छे से कर लिया, you will be able to attempt the questions of accounts and costing in your IFSCA examination. Previous year question paper भी देखोगे, basics में से बहुत सारे questions आए. The correct choice here is option B. Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses का total is prime cost. Tell me which of the following is included in the cost sheet. Which of the following is included in the cost sheet? None of the above, none of the above, right? None of the above. all these are exclusions of cost sheet. All these elements are exclusions of cost sheet. Because we record it in financial accounting and not in cost accounting. Tell me this one, read the following statements below and tell me which one is true, which one is false. Standard costing is calculated before the production starts. Sunk cost should be influencing future business decisions, and marginal costing is the cost of producing one more unit of the product. Here option B will be the correct choice. First one is true. Second one is false. We never consider sunk cost in the future business decision making. And last one is again true. Marginal costing is nothing. As the name says it all, it is marginal cost to produce one more unit. What are the different elements of cost sheet? What are the different elements of cost sheet? Prime cost, cost of goods sold, profit, or both prime cost and cost of goods sold? So guys, if you are doing accounting, costing and these subjects very well, it will give you a very good impact. Why? Because it will give you a very good benefit. Why? Because PFRDA already done, IFSCA about to come, right? Your examination is about to happen, and SEBI exam, the notification is out. The notification is out. If you do these very well, it will help you in the SEBI examination as well. Here all of the above is the correct choice. All the things are there in your cost sheet. Which of these are direct expenses? Can you tell me from the following expenses which of these are direct expenses? First and second here are direct expenses, option A. Rest are not the direct expenses here. Process costing and job costing. What is the difference between process costing and job costing? Under the job costing, production is standardized, right, and requires less control, while under the process costing, it is more effective control by management as required by the production happens in the large quantity. Tell me this one. Calculate the amount of direct material. Prime cost is given, variable production overhead is given, fixed production overhead is given, and direct labor is also given, 70% of the prime cost. That's 15,000, right? That's 15,000. We need to calculate the direct material. There's a relationship. Direct labor is 70% of the prime cost. This is my prime cost. 70% of it is 35,000. So 50,000 minus 35,000, it will be my direct material, 15,000. Very good. Now this question was from the cost sheet. Very, very important. A very high probability area in every examination. They are asking you a question from the cost sheet, right? Which of the following item is not included in preparation of cost sheet? Interest paid, right? That's a financial accounting component and not a cost accounting component. Which of the following is the social purpose of cost audit? Social purpose of cost audit. So pinpointing the areas of inefficiencies and mismanagement is what the social purpose of the cost audit is, otherwise rest of the following are the main purpose basically. Just give me a second. Okay guys, sorry for the disturbance. I think there was a power cut, because of that there was a fluctuation. Which figure for direct material is taken in the cost sheet? We all know that we take the direct material on the consumption basis, right? So it is raw material purchases plus opening stock minus the closing stock, right? We always take it on the consumption basis. One of the element of the cost sheet is cost of production. Can you tell me how it is calculated, guys? How we calculate the cost of production? Option A. Option A here is the correct choice. Factory cost plus administration overheads will give me my cost of production. Acha, tell me this one. The manager is interested in knowing about the cost of the goods available for sale. How he will be coming to this particular figure? Option B, cost of production plus cost of plus the opening stock of the finished goods. He needs to know the cost of goods available for sale, not the cost of goods sales, right? Available for sales. Next one, if the raw material purchase is 90,000 and the closing stock of raw material is 6,000 and the opening stock of raw material is 7,000, then what will be the figure of direct material consumed? I think this is one of the most simplest question. Opening stock plus purchase minus closing stock is the correct choice, right? 91,000 will be the answer. Tell me this one, and this can be important for your examination. The royalty paid on production to the state government should be classified under which head of the company's account? This can be important. Option A here is the correct choice. It will be direct expense. Why? Because royalty is directly linked to production year. Royalty is directly linked to production year. That's why. We have considered it as a direct expense. Usually, students think that it will be a indirect expense, or it will be administration expense, or it will be a selling expense, but it is a direct expense here. Okay, please do remember this one. Next one, the profit volume ratio is the 30%. What about the rest of the remaining 70%? What about the rest of the remaining 70%? It will be the variable cost ratio, right? It will be the variable cost ratio. Perfect. In ABC costing, what is the underlying basis for the allocation of cost? What is the underlying basis for the allocation of cost? It will be the cost object. It will be the cost object. For ABC, it is the cost object. Okay. Option A. What is the cost determined before the production begins? So I think we have discussed this in a true or false based question. So predetermined cost. Standard costing is also a predetermined cost only. Why? Because we set the standard just before the production. So predetermined cost. Important for your examination. What is the basis of valuation of stock in case of accounting, cost accounting? That's cost, right? Please do remember cost in NRV, whichever is lower, is a concept of financial accounting and not a cost accounting, right? Next one. A very easy one. You just need to calculate the fixed cost. You just need to calculate the fixed cost. They have given you the change in the total cost. They have given you the change in the level of activity as well. So the difference in my cost minus the difference in my level of activity, this will give me the per unit variable cost. This will give me the per unit variable cost. And once I have the per unit variable cost, I can easily deduct the variable cost from the total cost in order to arrive at my fixed cost, right? So variable cost here will be 52 lakh minus 32 lakh divided by 8 lakh minus 3 lakh. So the variable cost will be 4 per hour. The variable cost here will be 4 per hour, right? Then how we calculate the fixed cost? Just take any one of them. Say for example 8 lakh is the level of activity multiplied by 4 per hour. This is my variable cost. And what is the total cost at 8 lakh? 52 lakh. So 52 lakh minus my variable cost will be my fixed cost, only a very simple one. Dash is regarded as the specialized branch which involves classification, assignment, accumulation of costs. So it is cost accounting only. The cost of renting the machinery over the past years, it is a sunk cost. It is a sunk cost. It's not relevant as of now. Which of the following is an example of functional classification of cost? Functional classification, guys. Any idea about this one? It is administrative cost. Yes, it is administrative cost. Administrative cost is a functional classification, right? Because on the basis of functions, I am classifying it like factory cost, admin cost, selling and distribution cost, and so on. Process cost is very much applicable in the pharma industries, right? Here is a list of the name of the inventory and the methods that are applicable. I have taken this list from the ICI and ICMI material, okay? So you can refer to this particular list. It's an exclusive list. Almost all the things are already there. It's in the ICI material basically. What documents is prepared when the surplus material from one job is directly utilized in another job without being returned to the stores first? That's material transfer note. That's material transfer note. I'm just transferring from one job to another, preparing the material transfer note. Now this question directly came in your PFRD examination. We have covered this question in the PFRD MCQ series as well. As it is ditto same question, just the figure was changed, or obviously figure to change hongi, right? Can be important for your examination as well. Same question था आपके PFRD examination में जो हमने MCQ series के अंदर किया था. प्राइम कॉस्ट दे रखी है 33,500, डेप्रिसिएशन दे रखा है 1,500, फैक्ट्री रेंट दे रखा है 200% ऑफ द डेप्रिसिएशन. एक ही कंफ्यूजन हो सकता है सर, वहां पे क्या था ना, फैक्ट्री रेंट नहीं था. अच्छा मैं बताता हूँ, एक चेंज था उस क्वेश्चन में. वहां पे रेंट लिखा हुआ था, शायद सिर्फ फैक्ट्री रेंट नहीं लिखा हुआ था. वहां पे PFRDA में सिर्फ रेंट लिखा हुआ था. तो बहुत कंफ्यूजन हो गया स्टूडेंट्स को कि अरे रेंट है तो ये तो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एक्सपेंस भी हो सकता है, क्या पता किसका रेंट है. पर एक चीज बताता हूं, इफ दे हैव गिवन यू डेप्रिसिएशन, अच्छा सॉरी, कंफ्यूजन वाज रिलेटेड टू डेप्रिसिएशन नॉट ऑन फैक्ट्री रेंट, राइट? डेप्रिसिएशन का कंफ्यूजन था कि सर ये डेप्रिसिएशन. अच्छा एक और है, ऐसा ही इसी टाइप का क्वेश्चन है जो मैंने पेड कोर्स में बना रखा है, मैंने उससे लिंक कर लिया. क्वेश्चन वाज सेम. डेप्रिसिएशन का कंफ्यूजन था कि सर ये कहीं एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कॉस्ट तो नहीं है, मे बी द असेट इज बीइंग यूज्ड इन द एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन डिपार्टमेंट, राइट? बट दे हैव गिवन यू द डेप्रिसिएशन डायरेक्टली एज अ रिलेशनशिप विथ फैक्ट्री रेंट. सो फैक्ट्री रेंट के साथ अगर उन्होंने आपको रिलेट करके दे रखा है डेप्रिसिएशन, इसका मतलब दिस डेप्रिसिएशन इज समवेयर और द अदर रिलेटेड टू अ फिक्स्ड असेट विच इज देयर इन योर फैक्ट्री ओनली. सो दैट्स व्हाई हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट, आप ये अज्यूम करो ज़्यादा बेटर रहेगा, अ वेरी हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी कि आपका जो फिक्स्ड असेट है वो फैक्ट्री के अंदर ही है. अदरवाइज दे वांट लिंक द फैक्ट्री रेंट विद दैट ऑफ द डेप्रिसिएशन, राइट? सो हियर यू नीड टू इंक्लूड एवरीथिंग एंड 38,000 हियर विल बी द करेक्ट चॉइस. 38,000 विल बी द करेक्ट चॉइस. यहाँ पे आपको डेप्रिसिएशन को भी इंक्लूड करना पड़ेगा, राइट? अज्यूमिंग द फैक्ट दैट दिस डेप्रिसिएशन इज रिलेटेड टू फैक्ट्री कॉस्ट. The machinery is in factory, that's why factory rent को भी वो as a percentage of depreciation ले रहे हैं. Otherwise it makes no sense to relate factory rent with the depreciation. अच्छा, what is a bin card? What is a bin card? Bin card, it's nothing but a quantitative record of material received, issued and the balance. material received, material issued, and the balance. Which among the following is an incorrect classification of cost if we classify the cost on the basis of elements? It will be prime cost. It will be prime cost. Next one, which of the following statement are true and false? Opportunity cost is the cost of the best alternative that is foregone. Next best alternative basically. Differential cost is the cost difference between two similar products, and discretionary cost is fixed and inevitable. Here the correct choice will be option C. First one is correct, second one is false, third one is again false. Here you need to calculate economic order quantity. How to calculate economic order quantity? Do you guys remember this one? Economic order quantity. There's a formula for calculating the economic order quantity, right? The concept is as similar as batch quantity only. 2 into annual demand into ordering cost divided by the carrying cost. So the correct answer here will be 2500 kilogram. How we have calculated? 2 multiplied by 10,000, which is my annual consumption, multiplied by 50, which is my ordering cost per order, divided by carrying cost. Now how to calculate carrying cost? The raw material price is 2 rupee and the storage cost is 8% of it. So 2 rupee ka 8% is 0.16. 2 rupee का 8% 0.16, ये पूरा अंडर रूट में आएगा. सो विल बी गेटिंग 2500. ये इंपॉर्टेंट हो सकता है, न्यूमेरिकल आया यहाँ से तो मोस्ट एक्सपेक्टेड है कि इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी से आया तो थ्योरी की जगह न्यूमेरिकल पूछा जा सकता है. नेक्स्ट वन, व्हेन द कॉस्टिंग लॉस इज 5600, द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ओवरहेड अंडर एब्जॉर्ब्ड बीन 600, what will be the loss as per the financial accounts? I don't think this question will come in your IFSC exam. Still I am covering. It is there in your course, but I will say these kind of questions are not coming in the IFSC exam. Rather, it can come in SEBI exam. ये SEBI में आ सकता है. 6200 राइट, क्योंकि वहां पे अंडर एब्जॉर्प्शन हुआ है, एब्जॉर्ब होना बाकी है. तो फाइनेंशियल अकाउंटिंग में तो अंडर ओवर एब्जॉर्प्शन होता ही नहीं है. सो दैट विल बी 6200 ओनली. दैट विल बी 6200 ओनली. पर ये क्वेश्चन का आने का चांस ज़्यादा सेबी, PFRDA इन तरह के एग्जाम्स में होता है रादर देन IFSCA. Which costing method is most appropriate for interior decoration projects? Obviously job costing, because different projects will be having different requirements based on the client needs. Dash is the system of selective inventory control whereby the measure of control over an item of inventory varies with its usage. That's ABC, right? That's ABC analysis. क्योंकि वहाँ level of activity के हिसाब से you need to stimulate. In the behavior analysis, the cost is divided into what category? Can be important for IFSC. That's fixed and variable cost, right? That's fixed and variable cost. Next one, What is the relation between the retention ratio and the cash ratio? So they both equals to 1. The summation of retention ratio and cash ratio equals to 1. This is from the contract costing, right? This is from the contract costing. What does the over absorption of overhead will imply? What do you mean by over absorption of overhead? That means it leads to an overstatement of the product cost. We should not have absorbed that much. We have absorbed it over and above the actual cost. Zen Limited made a sales of during the certain period of 1 lakh rupees. The net profit for the same period was 10,000 rupees and the fixed overhead is 15,000 rupee. Calculate the net profit from the sales of 1,50,000. A numerical question. Sales 1 lakh, net profit 10,000, fixed overhead 15,000. You need to calculate, if you want to earn net profit of 1 lakh 50, calculate the net profit from the sales of 1 lakh 50,000. What will happen if you start making the sale of 1 lakh 50,000? What is the profit? 10,000. Fixed cost 15,000. So contribution is 25,000. So can I say 25% is my PV ratio? 25% is my PV ratio here, right? If I make the sales of 1.5 lakh, still I'll be making a PV ratio of 25%. So 1,50,000 multiplied by 25%, 37,500. Minus the fixed cost of 15,000. It will remain fixed irrespective of the level of activity. So 22,500 will be the correct choice here. 22,500 will be the correct choice here, right? I have directly computed it. 22,500, and this is the approach you need to use in the examination if you want to quickly compute the answer. I have just calculated the PV ratio in case number 1, 25%. नेहा, IFSC के अंदर जनरली जो आपका फेज 1 का लेवल रहता है वो नॉर्मल रहता है, ठीक है, पर मैं थोड़े से मॉडरेट लेवल वाले क्वेश्चंस भी कवर करवा रहा हूँ, बट मेजॉरिटी आई कैन से 80% ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस दैट आई हैव टेकन इन दिस पर्टिकुलर सेशन आर इजी टू मॉडरेट लेवल ओनली, ठीक है, और आपका इजी टू मॉडरेट लेवल ही रहने वाला है, ठीक है, इजी टू मॉडरेट लेवल ही डेफिनेटली आपका रहने वाला है. दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव कवर्ड मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस थ्योरी बेस्ड. Even if I have covered the numericals, I have covered those numericals only that are easy to moderate level in this. So PFRDA level वाले मैंने इसमें से numericals हटा दिए थे, right? एक दो क्वेश्चंस हो सकते हैं जैसे अभी वाला था जो आप लोगों को टफ लगाओ, ठीक है, एक दो क्वेश्चंस हो सकते हैं, और वो एक दो क्वेश्चन ऐसे एग्जाम में भी आते हैं जो टफ होते हैं डेफिनेटली. ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होने वाला कि सारे इसी तरह के आने वाले, बट द होल आइडिया इज टू रेप्लीकेट दी एग्जाम, राइट, कि एग्जाम में कैसे क्वेश्चंस आते हैं, टू रेप्लीकेट दैट थिंग इन द मैराथन सेशन. दैट्स व्हाई आई टेक फ्यू क्वेश्चंस दैट आर हायर डिफिकल्टी लेवल एज वेल. देयर इज वन बजट which is prepared as a consolidated summary of all the functional budgets, so that is called as master budget, right? There are different functions. Master budget is the one which is having all the functional budgets. Acha, tell me the total of indirect expenses. Total of indirect expenses from this one. 17,000, a very straight one, right? 17,000. Why? We just need to take the supervisory salary, supervisor salary and the factory overhead. They both are indirect. Rest of the things are direct. Next one. Which among the following is a type of budgeting technique where the previous year figures are not used as a base for preparing the next year's budget? It's zero-based budgeting, right? It's zero-based budgeting. Next one, the strategy that aims to involve workers from multiple functions and the levels in the organization in working together to address a problem. So different functional workers will be involved and they will promote collaborative working here. That happens in the Kaizen. Sorry. Tell me the variable cost from this particular question. It's a question which is related to your semi-variable cost. You just need to find out the variable cost per unit. A very simple one. Change in the total cost divided by the change in the units. That's it. $150, perfect. So change in the total cost divided by the change in the units will definitely give you 120. Basically it's 300 divided by 2. 150 rupee per unit is my variable cost. As per Six Sigma technique, the higher the Six Sigma number, the closer the process is to perfection. The closer the process is to perfection. Dash is the practice of charging all the cost, both variable as well as the fixed cost of operation to product. Can be important. Absorption costing. In absorption costing, we charge all the fixed as well as the variable cost to the particular product. If it's a marginal costing, we only consider the variable cost, right? In case of the rising prices, in case of inflation, FIFO method will be giving you a highest value of the closing stock in the profit. Acha, tell me this one, you need to just calculate prime cost. There are certain figures given in the question, there are certain elements that they have given in the question, you need to just calculate the prime cost. Quickly tell me what should be the prime cost here. Direct material consumed, direct labor, other direct expenses, that's it. Right, that's it. 80 plus 50 plus 30. So this is other direct expenses. 80 plus 30 plus 80 plus 50 plus 30. That's it. We don't consider direct material purchase. We don't consider any kind of indirect overhead. So 80 plus 50 plus 30 will be the correct choice. Auditor employed in an organization is an expense which belong to which category? A very simple one. That's a office and administration overhead. Primary packing is an example of direct material because without primary packing, your product is not complete. I'm talking about the primary packing, not the secondary packing. What is the cost driver? Basically, these are factors or variables that influences the level of cost, right? That influences the level of cost. Those are cost drivers. What does under absorption of the overhead indicate in the manufacturing cost system? That the actual overheads were higher than the overheads allocated to the production. So I have allocated only 1000 rupee, but actually the overheads were 1200. So can I say that by 200 I am under absorbed? By 200 there is a under absorption. That's what the meaning of under absorption is. Technique which takes into account fixed cost of in the product, we have already covered this. Absorption costing, it's repeated question. The application of principles of accounting and financial management to create, protect, preserve, increase the value of stakeholder is known as what? Important. Management accounting. Next one. In process accounting, a certain amount of loss occurs at various stage of production. Out of these, one of the type of loss consists of loss due to carelessness, machine breakdown, accident, use of defective material. What should be the accounting treatment of this kind of loss? This is due to carelessness. Transfer to P&L, transfer to costing P&L. Why? Because not P&L but costing P&L. Do remember, in costing we do have costing P&L. P&L we do have in financial accounting. In costing we do have costing P&L. Yes, it is abnormal loss. Correct, Varsha. So we'll be transferring it to the costing P&L. Option B here is the correct choice. The value of which among the following will be absorbed by the good units? Obviously, normal loss. Whatever normal loss you have incurred will be absorbed by the good units. Which of the following will be true if a company reduces its variable cost? Which of the following will be true if the company reduces its variable cost? Contribution margin will increase and break-even point will decrease. If you are reducing your variable cost, that means your contribution is increasing. So your contribution margin is going up. And because your contribution is going up, you are able to earn more and more profit. So obviously your break-even point will be decreased. Why? Because now you are easily able to cover the fixed cost by using the same amount of contribution. Right? So guys, that's all from my end for today. Thank you so much for attending the session. I'll be uploading this PDF as well. And please do download this PDF. There are a lot of homework questions as well for you guys in this particular PDF. Just give it a quick reading. This will be best for your IFSCA examination. Okay, so thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. See you soon in some other video. Thank you. Bye bye.